Why do you
Go
think
ahead.
Cool C didn't realize that he could become a star himself?
He was on his way, to be honest with you. A lot of people liked him. He did have like the training, I guess, from management. He really dug MC Shan, and I've told Shan this before. He really, really loved Shan. That was his man. Just like Steady loved LL. You know, even though he may take your radio, again, those were all concepts. That was all concept stuff from management, basically saying, "All right, you know what? You like this guy, diss him. You know, but you're gonna big him up." And he was like, "Diss him," so that you get this energy going, and next thing you know, they'll respond, and then so that was kind of like the strategy. I didn't really agree with it, but we did it. You know, Steady and I made Down to the Gristle. We made the Juice Crew disc. And we loved the Juice Crew. But again, management. They had their beefs or whatever it was, you know, because of course the bridge was on Pop Art Records and, you know, all of that. They released it on Pop Art. It says Bridge Records distributed by Pop Art. So they had their situations, you know, him and Marley or what have you, which had nothing to do with us. So not at all. We loved it. Everything they was putting out. They were killing it. The Juice Crew, killing it.
But I noticed, we'll get to this in a minute in more detail, but on I Gotta Have It, the Juice Crew disc, that's the only song you're not listed as a writer on. So why is that?
Which was really strange to me too. I guess maybe it was a slip of the mind. I'm not sure, but I noticed it. It's funny that you bring it up because I noticed it for certain. I was just like, the fuck happened here? The heck? Like, all right. To me, it seemed like the records that would pop, my name mysteriously didn't show up on there. That was like the code for me. It was kind of like, all right, this record is kind of dope. I was shocked my name was on Glamorous Life. I didn't have any control of it. But again, mysteriously, my name was not there. And I was like, wow. And I contributed to this record something serious. Actually, I'll go on to say if I wasn't involved with the record, it wouldn't have been as dope as it was. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. You got to, because I was right there the whole time, coming up with ideas, trying to figure shit out. You know what I mean? It's a process, you know what I mean, to come up with something dope. But me and Steady worked as a team, real nice.
Yeah.
So man, we worked. I'd be like, "What you think about this kick snare?" I mean, down to nook and cranny. We was coming up with stuff. That's how everything was done. Like, you like this now? Like, that was cool. That's what about that one right there? All right, cool. I mean, from A to Z, we put everything together, and the next thing you know, it was just magic. And we'd be like, "Yo, we came in here with nothing, and we came out of here. Listen to, I'm getting a copy of it, throw it on tape, so we can ride in the car and hear it in the system and ride around town with it." And you would just be friggin' amazed. It was just like, God, you just made a masterpiece, and didn't even go in there with that intention. You thought, all right, can it be done? I guess. We went and did it.
Yeah. Well,
We did it over and over and over.
Yeah, that's for sure. And also with What's My Name, you were on the back cover wearing your sweatsuits, you and Steady. So what effect, if any, did your picture being on there, and twice, but what effect did that have on you and your notoriety, if anything?
Good questions too. By the way, it was dope. It was dope because the first album I was not on that cover, and that was like an accomplishment. You know what I mean? To have it, even if it was on the back, for me, I was like, "Yo, this is fly," because you're gonna look at the front. He's like, all right, he got on Neil Styles, woo, woo, woo. He got on this Fila sweatsuit, yada, 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 like the colors. Flip it over. Oh, snap. Damn, he's on there with his DJ. That's kind of dope. You know, that's kind of like, I like this. So what have you, you know, you look at the titles of the song, boom, 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 and we on there joking around or whatever. It was uplifting, to say the least, man. It was, again, you know, it's getting your due. You know what I mean? It's getting your due, because I feel like you should get your due, man. Get it. You put your time in. You put your 10,000 hours, your professional hours in. You should get your due. So for me, that was my due right there. I seen that cover. I was like, damn, that's kind of dope. That's real dope. You know, I mean, that's what you in it. That's what you're in it for. You know.
Well, like you said, that'll help you get the respect of your peers when you're on the album covers. Speaking of which, of course, on Let the Hustlers Play, you're on the actual cover. So this this was back in the era where a lot of people were wearing medallions, and you had one on too. Do you remember how or why you picked the one you had on?
I dug the colors, you know what I mean? I felt the colors crazy. Again, even though, you know, I got the Jamaican heritage, it wasn't exactly my colors, but I mean, that's the motherland. So it was like, all right, cool. That's where it all came from and, you know, derived from. So I was just like, you know what, it goes with a lot of, you know, it was green, black, green, and red. So it was the green in it I liked a lot. Money Man, you know. I had like different green sneakers that I could rock with it. So the colors was right on point.
Okay. And also on Let the Hustlers Play, you have a lot of songwriting credits on there as well. And Do What You Gotta Do is probably on the DJ side of things. The scratching was my favorite, I guess, scratching of yours on that album. Do you remember particularly making Do What You Want to Do, or why or how the scratches on that song came about?
I do. So really, like I said earlier on, you have a couple groups out at a time. It really wasn't like, you know, you got all this different music to choose from and nothing like that. Back then, a couple of groups. You might have this one released, Houdini, boom, and LL might come out months later and, you know, down the line. But sparse releases. So when we came out, we had the floor. You know what I mean? We had everybody's attention. It was like, all right, these records are being distributed all over the world. Like you said, Jive, RCA. So we were like, wow, we got that major backing. So it was a little extra being put in those records for me. For me, I was on some, this is going to be a scratch tutorial. So every time I touch these tables, Cats is going to be like, what's he going to do next? That was really where I was at with it. You know, that's why, and I hear the song in my head. Do what I want to do. I can hear it. And I was going, and you just got like a vibe. It's like you're playing like an instrument. In other words, like you're playing like a horn or something. So you just flow with the cadence of the song. And that's what I did. I just like, how I'm gonna cut to this. The tap money, you know, whatever I was cutting. You know, steady B. I haven't heard that song in forever, but I can hear it in my head right now. You talking about 88?
Yeah, 88. Yeah. That was one of my favorite songs on the album. And then, of course, there's Sirius and KRS-One in the Sirius remix. So do you remember what working with him or what effect he had on Let the Hustlers Play and help you guys, what you learned from him? What was it like?
So KRS at that time was he did 3 songs. And shoot, man, working with him was fire because Chris is like, he's a ball of energy. He's like a little kid. He's like, oh man, we gonna do this all, you know, he's all excited, you know, and that energy, it just gets to you, man, because I dig his approach. And he was like the hot new dude, you know what I mean? He was the Jay-Z of that time, you know what I mean? He was just the king of hip hop at that time. He came out and we were all like, yo, this KRS guy, he's all that. So when Dive came to us and was like, yo, you know, KRS-One wants to produce a couple songs with you. Are y'all with it? And we all looked at each other like, yeah. Like he did that Just Ice stuff. We was like, this dude is nasty with it. Like, of course. And he's the nastiest on the mic. So that was like incentive. And at the time, we had done 2 albums. Now, mind you, What's My Name album we did, and we put our all into it. We put our all and then some into it. And the record was like, I don't think any fault of its own. I think personally, and you hear this a lot, but you know, record companies, they go after whatever sticks. You know what I mean? They throw a couple things against the wall, whatever sticks, they go, all right, let's throw this money at it. Let's see if we can push this to, you know, the moon. What's My Name, if you recall, had no videos, none, not a one. So you kind of like, you boxing with one hand at that point in the world of Run DMC, and they hitting with both hands, you know what I mean, and feet. And we out there with one hand, one behind the back, and we doing this with that record. It's like your audience wants to see you. They don't want to just hear you. This is not, you know, we in the video age now. So it's like, all right, we got MTV and, the different, channels that they can listen to it, jukebox, BET, you name it. So we had no video for that record. So that record was doomed from the gate. Because your audience can't say, oh damn, he got on the new motherfucking Lee's or Adidas or whatever, Nikes. Damn, look at that. Oh shit, he got the Gucci's on him. You know what I mean? You walk out there like that at that time, $200 sneakers. Cats was like, yo, you would influence and inspire a lot of people. And it was, people were pretty open to it, but there was no video for the record. So we were kind of in a like a down stage at that point. We were kind of like down about it, I should say. Because we thought, damn, we shot one of our best shots. And that didn't pop. So it was like, all right, a little discouraged here. Then it was like, do another record. I'm just like, what the fuck for? That was really my vibe, to be honest with you. I was like, why? So that's when it was like, all right, we're going to bring in Chuck Nice because you guys you're not really feeling it right now. And, because you're like, hurry up and do the record. I'm like, well, what's wrong with this record? What's my name? Was all that. Okay. That's just the way it goes, I guess,
Yeah. Well, to your point, the Serious video, I remember too, one of the things that was so shocking to me was Steady B was wearing a beeper in his hat. So that was, I don't recall ever seeing that before. Was that big in Philly or was that just something he did?
He was messing around. He used to play around with it every now and again, and he would do that like in the studio or something. And he loved those leather baseball caps and those Neil styles. So that was his thing. And I remember when he did it, he just slapped it on there, pow, and then came out rhyming. I was like, yo, that's fly. You should do that in the video. That's just how it came about. He did it like in the basement. We were in the studio, whatever, rocking out. And that's how it happened. The video was something else because the label got excited about that record because when we went up there, Chris, like he and I actually sat down. He came right to me. He was like, "Oh, was a few of us up there. Cool C was with us. It was 4 of us." And he came right to me. Boom. And I was kind of like shocked, like, oh, snap. He was like, "So what you think? I got these couple of ideas right there, right here. And which one you like the best?" I'm like, "I like this one right here." He had some beat that sounded like raw. It was like a fast beat, like Big Daddy Kane raw. And I was like, nah, that's been done already. And he had the slow beat. Boom, 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 boom. He had the, yeah. He had the Turtles record. And I was just like, yo, this record is funky. So I was like, I'm feeling this right. He's like, all right, cool. So he sat right there, took that record, sampled it right in front of us, and made the beat and all that right in front. He was like, all right, cool. And he had a lot of respect for me. So, because unbeknownst to me, I didn't know he had seen me DJ before. He used to come to Philly a lot. And he told me this later on. He was like, yo, we used to come to Philly and I would see you like on the turntables and you would be getting busier than I've ever seen any. I'm like, for real? Like, wow, you never know who's watching. So put your best foot forward. And I always did, especially DJing. But he had a lot of respect for me in that regard. So he was just like, all right, man, we got the beat, everything's cool. Can you find something to scratch? And I got right on it. And I just found that little lick right there. And that was it. He was like, oh yeah. And they made records a little differently than we did. So that was intriguing because, you got a chance to like peep how it was done. So instead of like, so for instance, we would DJ, we would cut like, all right, the break is coming. Bam, you're going to cut right here. Nah, he would make the record where you cut through the whole thing from top to bottom. Come on, just whereas the whole joint got to be dope now because it's like, all right, well, I don't know when he's gonna punch in and punch out. He's gonna take it in, take it out. I don't know. So I just had made it as fly as I could, and it had a dope effect. I liked it. So once they got the record, Jive was excited about it. Now they're excited because Chris is involved. We like, hey, all right, cool, let's do it. Next, they like, we already getting like treatment ready for the video, and they got Fab Pop ready to direct the video. That was his first video he had ever directed. Was ours. So he came up with all the concept, putting my name up on the turntables. I was like, fire, man. That was fire. It was in a church, as a matter of fact. We did it in New York, downtown New York, in a church/club. So that was kind of cool. We was outside looking like, this is a friggin' church. Like, what? Sacrilegious. We're going to go up in here and party in a church. What? Hey, they had like a club night in there. So I was like, only in New York. All right, cool. Let's go.
Okay. Now with all of that, I was going to ask you about the DJ stand with your name on it. So that's pretty crazy that Fab Five Freddy did that. But
with the monitor, like Serato or something. That was fire.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Raps with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.